polish freaks, I have the new Essie Swoon in the Lagoon collection. So many Essie collections, right? And here's another 9 polish collection. So this collection showed up super early at Ulta. I've had it probably for like 3 weeks now, but I just saw a couple days ago that Essie said they're releasing it, so now it's like officially released and I'm pretty excited about it. I do believe that Beyond Polish is going to be getting these. I don't think they have them yet. Emailed them and it looks like that they are, and it's probably a go, but they're still waiting on them. I guess this is like a winter to spring collection. I'm not sure exactly what polishes are going to be available outside the US. I know like collections like the Not Ready for Bed collection, like only 6 of them were available to people outside the US, so we'll have to see. And if you guys can let me know that down below in the comments, that would be great, because people ask me that all the time and sometimes I don't have all the information and I don't know. This is a beautiful collection. I like all the colors together. I did a lot of comparisons for these, you guys, a lot. 2 for a handful of them. But there are a few polishes in here that are standouts that I feel are special and are a little bit unique. Let's talk about them. The first one I have is Boatloads of Love, and it's this beautiful soft pale pink, but it's a pink that leans a little bit more beige. It also has this iridescence behind it, so it's got this really subtle iridescence. It shifts purple to orange. It's just like a purple shift. And this shimmer is what really sets it apart from other Essie polishes that are the same kind of color tone. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is going to be opaque in 3 coats. With these lighter colors, you do have to kind of float your brush a little bit just to make sure you don't have any patches, but I definitely would say you'd want to build this up in 3 coats. I about drove myself crazy trying to find the polish that this matched. I just wanted you to know that it was the same base color as like this polish or this polish, except with the iridescence, and I really couldn't find anything exact. After a while, I was like, that's enough. We're not gonna pull out anymore because I feel like I really didn't find anything exactly the same, and it's so hard to tell because this polish is so light. I don't know if you're even gonna be able to see it, but I will do my best to describe it for you guys so that you can see. The first one that we have here is Get Oasis, and that one has more of a gold orange subtle shimmer in it, but definitely the shimmer is more strong than it is in Boatloads of Love. And so this one, I would say, kind of looked close in color tone, but then that shimmer just makes it kind of a completely different color. And then OPI Coastal Sanctuary, that is such a good polish from the OPI. It was summer or spring, I can't think off the top of my head, but anyway, that one's more beige, but it's kind of close. And of course that's just a straight cream, it has no shimmer. And then Pre-Show Jitters is more of a white pink. It helps you see that Boatloads of Love is a good mix of beige and pink, so I thought it would be helpful for you to see it compared to a polish like that. Okay, and then I got into like some other colors that I felt like were even a little bit closer. Romper Room is pretty close, it's a touch more pink, so Boatloads of Love has a touch more yellow compared to that one. And then Mixed Taupe was very close. It had a touch of gray brown and was slightly more muted though. And then Urban Jungle was close, but it was more gray. But really, I mean, they're all kind of close. If you really want to know and get down to the nitty gritty, they're not exactly the same. Of course, it has that shimmer in it, so it's definitely different. It's going to be a different kind of polish, but I liked it. And then we have Day Drift Away, and it's this beautiful kind of muted peachy pink or pinky peach, whichever way you look at it. I would say it does lean more pink to me than peach. It has a fantastic formula. It's going to build up in 2 coats. It just, all these really have a fantastic formula. Also, I wanted to say that this whole last year, Essie has been doing 8 free and vegan and 100% cruelty free, and I didn't realize that till I read up on it the other day. So anything that's been released this last year have all been 8 free and vegan. So I thought you guys would want to know that if you didn't know that already. So I think that's great that they're making some changes, and so this collection is that as well. Anyway, getting back to this color, when I first saw it, I was like, man, they're sure releasing a lot of colors like this, and they are. There's a ton. I had to feed through so many colors like this that were from Essie and OPI just because I was like, there's got to be something. I do this every time. There's got to be something that's exactly the same, but when it comes down to it, they're not going to make a polish that's exactly the same. Once in a while they do, but it's very rare. They're all going to be slightly different, but they're all going to be pretty similar, if that makes sense. So let's talk about those. I did 2 sets of comparisons for this one too, and I'll try to talk fast so you don't get too bored. So the first one I compared it to is the Snuggle Is Real, and that's more muted, has more of like purple brown undertones. And then Young Well Than Me is more purple. and Just Grow With It is even more purple than Young, Wild, and Me. So you can see how those compare there. I found a lot of them were more purple. I even saw that like Another Romantic Evening, I was going to pull those out and they were a lot more purple, and somewhere over the Rainbow Mountains and colors like that were more brown, and this one is kind of leans more peach, and so that made it kind of tricky. But let's get into that second set of comparisons. So I compared it to Bear With Me, and that one's a little bit more brown, and then Come Out to Clay is more peach, so it's maybe kind of in between those a little bit, and then Hopelessly Devoted to OPI is brighter and a little lighter and more of a peachy pink instead of a pinky peach. So there might be something I missed. I'm sure there is, but I really did like this one. It does have a little bit of brightness to it, and so when I had it on my nails compared to the other ones, I did like this the best. I'll let you decide if it's worth picking up though. It might not be. And then we have All or Nothing, and this is a beautiful shade. It's beautiful yellow orangey like creamsicle shade. It has a great formula. It's going to build up nicely in 2 coats. I really like this shade quite a bit. These are so fun to wear in like early spring, and they're a little bit brighter and fun. And I didn't have a ton of comparisons for this, just a few, and I did feel like this one was a little bit unique, and so let's look at those. I knew you guys would want to see it compared to Filling Willies, and that one's lighter and more yellow. That's the one I thought was going to be almost exact, but it's a little different. This one's more orange. And then You Know the Espadrille is more of a mustard yellow, and Fall for NYC is a little more orange with a touch of yellow, so it's like a yellow based orange. And then I also pulled out Cat Tan, and that one's darker and a little more brown, so I didn't compare it to that one. So I did feel like this one's unique, and I actually really, really love it. Sit by me while I do my video. Come lay down. Oh, hi baby. You were so lonely today, huh? I've been gone all day. Huh? Oh, okay, wait, we just need a minute. We need a minute, huh? Okay. Okay, what are you gonna do now? She really is the sweetest puppy. I love her so much. Huh? Even though you drive me crazy sometimes. Okay, you're just gonna hang out here? We'll let Piper hang out for a minute, I guess. Okay, this next one is Frilly Lilies, and it's a bright orange cream polish. I can't do this with you on my lap. I love you, but you gotta get down. Okay? Can you hop down now? Please? Hop down. That's a good girl. Okay, next we have Frilly Lilies. Ugh, dog slobber. And this is a bright orange cream polish, so it doesn't look super unique, but it's got a fantastic formula, and it does have a lovely brightness to it, and it does have a touch of pink in it, which are my favorite. I don't like just like primary oranges. They have to have a little peachy side to them, or like a pinky side to them. It was so close to 1 coat, but I got it opaque in 2 coats. I think I just did 1 in my live swatch, and so I definitely wanted to do comparisons for this one because there's a lot of oranges that have been coming out, and so let's talk about those. I compared it to Madrid It for the gram, and that one's close. It has a bit more red in it, and then I compared it to Strong at 1% is more orange, and then Claim to Fame I also compared it to, and none of them were like exactly the same. I did have some other OPIs that I pulled out, and I really had nothing the same as this. I'm questioning myself now. There's gotta be something close to this. I might double check. I seriously drove myself crazy with this collection, going back and looking and checking and double checking. So I might add another comparison. We will see, because I'm definitely going to double check. There's got to be something like this, but I don't think there is. I really loved this one, you guys. It's so pretty. And then we have Natural Connection. I'm loving sage greens. It's another sage green. But you're probably thinking it's another sage green, but no, wait a minute. This one's so good. Okay, the formula is fantastic. First of all, it's like opaque in 1 coat, and it's glossy and beautiful, and the formula is so, so good. So, so good. This one is a sage green. It leans a little bit more yellow, so it's kind of like a muted olive green, but it definitely has some more blue in it, so it's not like too yellow. So it's not too olivey. Does that make sense? It is beautiful. So I did 2 sets of comparisons so you guys could really see how different it is. I think you're gonna want it even though they're kind of close, but they're different. So let's talk about the first one. I have Win Me Over, and I thought for sure it would be like pretty close. No, I thought it'd be pretty close to Cacti on the Prize. Anyway, so Win Me Over is more of a yellow green and it's a little bit darker. And then Cacti on the Prize, and that one's closest, but it's lighter and more yellow. So it's different. And then OPI, This Isn't Greenland, is close and it's lighter and more yellowish. So this one's not as yellow as those other ones, and that's why I love it. And then the second set of comps here is Belief in Yourself, and I wanted you to see that's more of a green blue sage. And then Maximilian Strauss Her is more blue. Love that polish. If you haven't picked that one up yet, they have it out with the new brush. I think you can get it at CVS in the store. I need to check to see if I can get it online because my CVS is lame and has nothing. And so I need to see if I can get it online because I want another bottle of that. And then Bringing Down the House is more of a green sage, and it's good for spring. That's a good spring one. Nothing exactly the same. Polishes that are kind of close. I like this better than Cacti on the Prize just because it is a touch cooler than that one. But once again, I'll let you guys decide. But I am loving sage. This is like the year of greens. The year of sage greens for me. It's just been my favorite thing. Are you guys loving the greens too? I need to know. Are you sick of green? Well, I've got another green coming up next. This is Willow in the Wind, and this is a really yellow toned green. It's like an apple green, and I like it. It's fun. I always say I like these though, and then I don't really wear them too much. I really like the blue toned greens a little bit more. This looks kind of close to the polish that I made in the Essie Labs years ago when I went out to New York with some of my nail girls for an Essie trip, and that was so awesome. Prettier than mine. Mine has yellowed quite a bit since I brought it home, and it looks really gross now. But it's kind of close to it. I was kind of going for a shade like this. It's bright and fun, and it's fun for spring, and it's a little bit different, and the formula is really great on this one too. I think it built up really nicely in 2 coats. Okay, so here are the comparisons. I have Phil and Just Lime is more of a bright lime green. Zoya Jace is very close, but not as yellow, but that was like the closest one that I had. And then OPI I'm Swamped is a brighter green. It's more of a true green. I really like I'm So Swamped. So out of all of those, this is the swampiest out of all of them. I think that's a good way to say it. It's another green. Then we have Ripple Reflect. These videos and this picture are not going to do this polish justice. I'm just telling you that right now. It's so beautiful. I love these kind of purple tone blues. And this is a mid-tone one, which sets it apart a little bit from other polishes that are kind of like this. It is bright and it's beautiful and it's so fun, and I don't wear a lot of blues, but I will wear this kind of blue. It's so good. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats. It really does have a fantastic formula as well. This was so close to 1 coat, but I did 2, so it's like a 1 to 2 coater depending on your application. So I compared it to You Do Blue, and that's more purple toned, but it's pretty close. But it also has that iridescent shimmer in there. It's like a purple shifty shimmer. I love that polish and the color of it, but because of the shimmer, I just didn't find myself reaching for it very often. And so I love that Ripple Reflect has come out, and it's even more blue toned, which I like even better. Take the Lead is more of a sky blue, you can see here, and then Roam Around is more of a blue, and you can see how much green it has in it compared to all these other ones. Pret a Surfer, another one. I thought, oh, maybe this is exactly like this, but it's not. That one's darker and more purple toned. The formula on my bottle is still amazing, and I've had that since like 2015. That is one of my favorite polishes. It's so good. I don't think you can find it anymore. I will try to link it below if I do find it. And then OPI Dreams Need Clarification is such a great polish, and that's lighter, but it's in the same color family, so that's why I love these both. It's maybe a touch more purple. And then Malibu Shore is going to be more of a warmer blue. So nothing like this, at least what I have in my collection, and so I'm super happy about this one. This one's special. I know I'm gonna wear it and I'm gonna love it, and you are gonna want to wear it too. And then we have Row with the Flow, and there's been a lot of these kind of rusty terracotta shades that have come out, and so when I saw this one I was like, oh, it's not super unique, but I love how it looks with all the other colors in this collection. The collection's very cohesive. It goes well together. It's very well thought out. I feel like I like it. The formula is really good. Like most of them, it's so close to 1 coat, but I did 2. too, and it just builds up nicely. I did a couple sets of comparisons, and so in this first one I have Fab Florals, and that's a newer polish, and that one's more red toned, and I thought you'd want to see that. And then I received a few polishes from the Terra brand. This one called Burnt Oranges. This is the first time I've applied this polish, but it was so close I had to throw it in here. That's called Burnt Oranges, and that's a touch more red, but it's definitely the closest out of these here. And then Let It Slide is more of a bright orange red. And then for this next comparison, we have Endless Center, and I knew it would be pretty much exact to that. And then It's a Piazza Cake is more of an orangey rust color, and My Italian is a little rusty is more like a rusty red color. So nothing exact as far as Essie goes, but if you have OPI Endless Center, I really do love that polish, and I love this one too. They're pretty much exact. So that's that one. And the last one is the namesake of the collection, and this is called Swoon in the Lagoon, and it's a beautiful fuchsia. This is beautiful. This has a fantastic formula as well. It's going to be opaque in 1 to 2 coats. I think I did maybe 1 in my live swatch and 2 for my picture swatch, but you will see here, but it just has a really great formula. I love shades like this. I'm always a sucker for them. When I first got it, it looked exactly like Flowerista, which is one of my favorite Essie polishes for a while. It was like my #1. I can't say this is my #1 right now from Essie, but I really love it. So I definitely knew you'd want to see it compared to that one. It also reminded me of Orly Frolic, and I didn't compare it to that because I held them together and they're a little bit different. That one's a little bit more pink and a little softer. First one I have is Flowerista, and that one's darker and more purple. It's not as bright as this one, so I feel like it's in the same color family. And I feel like this is kind of an updated, more trendy version of Flowerista, and so I kind of like this one a little bit more than that now. And then Drive In and Dine is beautiful, and it's more of a purple mauve. And New Year Hue is darker purple. There's a lot of shades kind of like that, so I wanted to throw one of those in there. And then the second comp is Hurry Juku Get This Color, and that's very close. It's a touch more red and not as bright, but it's probably the closest out of OPI that I could find. And then Spare Me, a French Quarter, is darker and a touch more red. And Seventh and Flower is darker and more like a raspberry leaning purple. So I couldn't find anything exact. I could be wrong. Let me know if there's something else you want me to compare any of these to, and I can maybe add them for my Instagram swatches. I liked this one too. Okay, so let's find my favorites. Look how cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm wanting spring now. It's too soon. I can't wish for that. So Ripple, Reflect, of course, and Natural Connection. Those are probably my 2 favorites. And then I really do love these kind of creamy yellows, All or Nothing, and then Swoon in the Lagoon, which maybe aren't as original, but I like them. And so top 2, top 4. Tell me what your thoughts are in this collection. Are you guys getting tired of Essie? I'm not getting tired of them, but I'm like, how many polishes can you have? Especially when you consider like the Expressi and the Essie Gel Couture. I'd be curious to know if you think it's too much, or do you think it's perfect? Are you liking it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'm so glad you're here, polish freaks, and we will see you next time. Bye.